Russia finds errors in paperwork of candidate hoping to stand against Putin.
Here's a summary of the article.
Russia's Elections Commission has said it found dead souls among the more than 100,000 signatures of support submitted by Boris Nadezhdin, the sole anti-war candidate in next month's presidential election, in a sign that he could be disqualified from a carefully managed ballot meant to deliver victory for Vladimir Putin. Nadezhdin, a veteran politician who has associated with Kremlin insiders and the opposition to Putin, has been waging a last-minute campaign to get on the ballot for the election, with thousands of Russians standing for hours in the freezing cold to add their signature in his support. Tatiana Stanovaya, the founder of the political analysis firm R-Politik, said Nadezhdin had probably been permitted to try, and fail, to collect signatures for the elections to show the hopelessness of the anti-war agenda. The independent Levada Center said this week that Nadezhdin was polling in the single digits and at best could expect to win 4% of the general election vote, and more likely 2%. Putin is likely to expect an overwhelming victory to give him a fifth term in office and a mandate to continue with the war. Nadezhdin said in his elections manifesto that Putin had made a fatal mistake by starting the special military operation, the Kremlin's preferred term for its invasion. Another openly anti-war candidate, Yekaterina Duntsova, has already been disqualified by the Elections Commission, which refused to accept her nomination because of alleged errors in her paperwork, including spelling mistakes. Standing in line and supporting Nadezhdin is a safe way to protest, and we support that, said Ruslan Shavdanov, a close ally of Navalny's.
This post received a score of 13000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Why do they even bother with the excuses? It's so absurdly transparent.
They were always like that. Their autocracy is violent but not chaotic. They have rules and a system that they at least pretend to uphold. Pretend legitimacy and fairness is how they brainwashed millions of Russians that other countries are just as corrupt. The facade is there to make real democracy, real justice, seem false everywhere else too.
One could argue the pretense of rule of law is there to make the situation even more depressing. It's straight out of 1984. Wrap the brutality in layers upon layers of bureaucracy to suck all energy out of their opponents before resorting to actual violence.
Oog, this actually gave me a chill.
Apathy propaganda is real. It doesn't only apply to Russia, either.
I experienced almost 2 full decades of politics are boring, and one vote won't make a difference, before I went out into the world. And it was everywhere. Popular TV shows, movies, etc. Hardly anyone I went to school with got registered to vote or paid attention to politics. Hopefully they've gotten more involved since then. Especially the ones with kids.
Error was date of death field was left blank. We fix.
The error was the fact he didn't vote for Putin, as required.
Putin is such a coward.
All strongman dictators are bitches. Just look at Winnie the Pooh.
XINNIE the Pooh.
Who could have foreseen such a complication? Yep, someone called this exact scenario in the thread which announced this other candidate entering the race.
It's a well-worn scheme at this point, used by Putin since his earliest days in power to impede potential opposition candidates. Marsha Gessen talks about this in her Putin biography, The Man Without a Face. Opposition candidates are required to petition to run, and they must secure an absurd number of signatures from supporters. Those signatures are then rejected under the flimsiest of pretexts. For instance, signatures that listed St. Petersburg under the address instead of St. Petersburg would be discarded.
I am completely shocked to find there is improper paperwork being submitted in this establishment. Your winnings, sir.
Error. You filed a paper.
Transparent ink only allowed on official form to run for office.
They let him run to make it look like competition. But when people started to vote for him, Putin got scared and pulled the plug on this.
He's afraid that if he doesn't nip it in the bud now, there will be genuine outrage if he tries to stop him later, which of course he'll inevitably do sooner or later. Plus, when the candidate falls into irrelevancy, it'll be a lot easier to dispose of him without too many questions being asked. Putin is what you get when you put a mafia crime boss to lead a country.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.